welcome to Voice What presents the great business story transforming India in association with NDTV Profit. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Medprime began with a student idea and grew into a medtech pioneer focused on innovation, accessibility and impact. Today, its digital microscopy platforms are redefining how healthcare reaches every corner of India. And I'm now joined by Samrat, who's the founder and CEO of the firm, and Greeshma Krishnan, who is the founder and the COO. Thank you very much for joining us. Pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
Same here. The pleasure is ours.
Give us a bit of an insight into actually how Medprime began and what was the spark that actually led you to the point that you are today.
So obviously things start from very beginning. For engineering, I opted for biomedical engineering. There was a turning point in my life where I was with my grandfather for his treatment, and my job was very simple, just to observe the IV infusion process and stop it just before the completion of the fluid. But unfortunately, multiple times I failed. When you fail to close the tube, there is a backflow of blood. So that was a very annoying thing for me, and it was very frustrating. As an engineer, I saw that there is a gap, and even this simple process was a manually driven process. So I thought, let's make something that will resolve this issue. And after that, I shifted to IIT Bombay. I started studying there, and I met like-minded people there, Greeshma and my other two co-founders, Penil and Mahesh. Then we thought about this problem. Even our professors was like very supportive. So we thought that why not just only making device. No, let's take a very constructive route and a systematic route and form a company and then start the Medprime. So from there, everything started.
So, as we were talking about earlier, you started with InfoCheck and then you actually moved to digital microscopy. So, give us a bit of an idea about how that pivot happened and what did you really learn from that shift?
The device which we were making, we named it InfoCheck. At that time when we started, getting fund for a hardware startup was very difficult. So, we faced lots of challenges for testing, validation also. And at the same time, I was doing my MTech, and there was a project that I was handling. My job was to make a simple portable microscope that can capture RBC and WBC images, and based on RBC size, we were predicting the sickle cell anemia. After making that device, I started demonstrating it to the pathologists and other users, experts. So I received very good feedback from them, and they also guided us that if you will incorporate these features, it will be very useful for the entire pathology community. So we decided that okay, let's make this also in Medprime, and then from there we designed Cilika, and after first prototype again we repeated the same process, and again the same feedback we received that now this is very good device, and one pathologist offered us to buy that, even in that raw condition, and that was like something where we realized that okay, this is a very high margin and a low volume product, and we can sustain our company on this product.
Okay. So now Greeshma, coming to you, so what's been the core vision for your firm? And you were earlier speaking about innovation, accessibility and affordability. So how do you ensure that and balance all three?
So I think the core vision has always been accessibility. You have to innovate keeping in mind affordability. So what we have done is that we have innovated from the ground level up, keeping cost effectiveness in mind. And because of that, we are able to ensure that products like Cilika and Micalys, they are not like a high-end luxury product, but they are like a practical tool that is suitable for every Indian lab.
So what is it that makes Cilika actually stand out from other microscopes that are there in the market right now?
We're proud to say that Cilika is a product that has been capable of reliably replacing the traditional binocular microscopes that have been used since ages. With Cilika, with the patented technology that we have developed, we have been able to ensure seamless integration between the microscopy optics and the digital display device that would be a smartphone or a tablet. And because of that, we have been able to overcome the limitations of the lag. It's extremely user friendly, it's ergonomic, there is no reduction in the field of view. We are able to maintain the magnification, resolution, all of that. And hence, Cilika microscopes have now become, a tool for daily reporting and the routine use rather than just an exception.
How do you think Cilika as a product has actually impacted healthcare in remote areas in the country? And is there any story that you'd like to share with us that stayed with you?
A very good example of how Cilika has created an impact we can tell by the effect that we've had in the Melghat region by the work done by Mahan Trust. The nearest lab for the 250,000 people that live there is 150 kilometers away. Because the location is such that there is no reliable transportation for samples, for the daily samples that are there. What happens is usually they do not take that up, they do not go for the testing, or even if samples are sent for testing, the turnaround time even for critical diseases, it's like a life-threatening 4 to 5 days. So with Mahan Trust, after the deployment of Cilika, what they were able to do is they were able to achieve a telepathology link between a lab technician who's present in Melghat region and the pathologist who sits in Amravati. Right, so they were able to do things virtually. Instead of sending samples physically, they started sending digital images and the digital sharing the sample remotely. And what the transformation that happened was that the turnaround time reduced from 4 to 5 days to just 2 hours. Now, because of this, there was prompt treatment and more informed patient care, which contributes to reducing the morbidity and mortality rate in the area. So Cilika is not just a product, it's actually a blueprint for a very successful blueprint that can be replicated in other places as well.
Tell us a bit more about Micalys and how does it really complement Cilika, and what is it that one ingredient that makes it unique in telepathology?
We started with Cilika, and Cilika acted as a milestone for digital microscopy and associated with telepathology. Universities and medical colleges are also using Cilika. But what message we received from them, that if you can make it more automated, not just the image transmission, also if pathologists can control this microscope from anywhere in the world, that will be a revolutionary change. So that's how we started developing Micalys, where we introduced automation, and now with that automation, pathologists can actually control this from anywhere in the world. We developed the whole slide imaging system also, where we just capture thousands of fields, stitch it together and make it one single image, and then we can share it very easily. Like with one QR code sharing, you can transmit the image to any pathologist sitting in the world and you have access of complete slide visualization. Micalys is just like a ideal solution for a path lab, where all of their microscopy needs can be fulfilled at one place.
Right, so Greeshma, tell us what's next for Medprime. Are you looking at new products? Are you looking at new markets that you could enter? What's the plan?
We are working on multiple softwares that will help in analysis of blood smears, filaria detection, semen analysis. We are also working with other companies, collaborating with other companies, other software developers. So we will be able to provide all these on one platform, that is Micalys, right? Other than that, we're also working on a reporting module that will, optimize the workflow for a pathologist, because they also have to shift from doing things, in an analog manner to a digital format. So having everything in one workflow, one software is going to be very easy for them. So we're working on that as well. We are looking at international markets, specifically Southeast Asian countries. We are focusing on Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, also in Middle East and African countries.
How do you see digital microscopy really transforming diagnostics in India? Because there is a lot of lag in rural areas particularly.
So the main issue is that diagnostics is mostly centralized now. So most labs work in a hub and spoke model. most experts are located in the larger towns, larger cities. Now what something like digital microscopy can do is that it can actually decentralize this, which means that instead of the sample being shipped from the remote areas, it's just the digital data that can be transferred, the images or the videos, or maybe even live stream the sample to the experts sitting in the cities. So basically what we can do is we can have this the expertise of the trained pathologists reach the rural areas without them having to be physically present there.
So finally, for entrepreneurs and innovators, what is the advice that you would give Samrat, and then we'll come over to you, Greeshma, as well.
In every field you have certain gaps that you can identify, and when you find out a problem statement, then you go for validation of that problem. Directly don't jump for the solution, but first try to find out that what you are solving and if it is worth solving or not, and then you can innovate, you can make the device. You have to innovate in the processes also, like how you will take that device to the market. So innovation at every stage is important, like in the process of business development also. So think in that way, and then you will reach to your destination.
Wonderful advice. What would you say, Greeshma?
So what I have to say, I think from our experience is don't be afraid to pivot. If you hit a roadblock, analyze what went wrong. And I think the second thing that I would say is, don't compromise on quality, because sometimes you try to just try to make the product as cheap as possible in order to, to get the best out of the, to be the most affordable product. But in that process, do not lose out on the integrity of your product. We feel that if your product, your solution is actually the best, you will find the right customer who is willing to pay for it.
All right, Samrat and Greeshma, it was wonderful to have the two of you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.